Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Lost My Pokemon Trading Card Game podcast. I'm here with my co-host Landon. How you doing?
Doing pretty well, Lucas. Had a pretty chill day. Went into work for like 20 minutes.
Got paid for 4 hours, I heard.
Yeah, that's the minimum as per BC labor laws. But yeah, no, it's pretty sick. Didn't really do too much today. Just chilled out. Moved some stuff around in my downstairs living room. But
Shout out to the tape on the wall. Is that just
real. No, I've been trying to figure out how to get my foam panels on the wall. I bought Gorilla Glue to see if that would work.
Did it work?
No, some of them stayed up. 4 of the 6 stayed on the wall, but 2 did fall. So I think it kind of works, but
R.I.P.
I gotta go back to it. But Lucas, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I didn't do too much today. Went to guitar lessons. Um, what else did I do? Really? I mean, I just practiced and went to a science class. So, not too much.
Pretty swag. What are we
Uh,
doing today?
We're looking at the new set, Twilight Masquerade. So we are expecting that we're just gonna be doing that. That's gonna be our main thing. We're gonna try to make it a set review, and we're gonna try to post it to YouTube as like. Well, we might try it. I don't know. We're still
I
undecided.
think it's just going up as a podcast. I don't. Lucas is
Yeah.
being.
Yeah, true.
Lucas is making things up.
I am making things up. Ideas are cooking, but not they're burning. So
Yes.
we're
Yeah.
just
So today we're talking about the
full set list.
Twilight Masquerade cards. This is going to be our NAIC set. I know it just feels like, um, what was the set called? Temporal Forces. I was going to say Paradox Rift, but that's the previous set. That just came out, but hey, we're moving on to the next set. New cards.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, this is pretty rushed. I don't know if this is rushed. This might be exactly on like the 3 month line, or if not 2.5 months. But I like it. You know, new cards are.
Yeah, they've kind of all been revealed in Japan now, so we just now have like all the cards. And I know myself, I'm only going to LA regionals, so I'm going to be probably trying to test some of these pretty soon here. Maybe we can make some decks and start playing against each other, preparing for the big
LA Regionals is not
tournament.
in this format.
No, I mean, sorry, did I? We're on NAIC.
We are going to NAIC.
Well, I
I
mean
was
to
about to be
say we're
confused.
only going to one more regionals, and we can practice for that, but we can also practice for NAIC because that's the higher value tournament.
Yeah, true. NAIC would be sick. Theoretically, if I win NAIC and I win LA, I am #1 senior if no one else gets points. So
Broken.
yeah, it's
Sounds doable. I think it could happen. But I think this set has some pretty good cards in it. Nothing that's like broken, but
yeah. There's like a few that are interesting for sure. Shout out
like
to
Temporal
Justin
Forces was
Basil.
more of a shakeup than this set will be.
Uh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think there's quite a few really good cards. Like I think Temporal
There are good
Forces
ones.
is the kind of set. Well, it needs to be broken because it's the set that changes like the letter, so it's gonna be the set that we rotate to. So there's got to be a bunch of staples in it.
Yeah.
This set's just kind of a not a filler set, kind of, but it's filler in a different term where we're like filling out the gaps in the format. Like after
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be like broken S tier decks. Like there's not going to be like a Charizard coming out of the set. It feels like just a lot of support pieces.
lots of
Uh,
support pieces, I think that the Dragapult DX has potential. I think
yeah,
deck is
I think
very,
it's all right.
I think it's very strong.
But why don't we get started? We go top to bottom here. We've
Okay.
got Sunflower
Shout
at
out
the
to
start. We
Justin
got
Basil.
Justin Basil translating for us.
Okay, so Sunkern is the best card in the set. We can all agree. Bullet Seed, flip 4 coins, 10 damage for each heads. I'm gonna do 40 every time. But on a real note, Sunflora. So they're at this weird point. So Pokemon likes to print cards and then print counters for the cards. So the problem is,
Such a bad counter.
yeah,
It doesn't even
the
count.
problem is that's what I was gonna say. With Mew VMAX, it went Mightyena and then it went Drapion. So like the next the next Zard counter is gonna be broken. Like it's just gonna be Drapion. Drapion was insane. Drapion was like a very good counter for its time. So I think the next counter will be good, but this one's not. 1 grass energy, 60 damage, or each fire energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So they need to have 3 fire energies. So if your Zard opponent sees a Sunkern and they've read Sunflora, your plan's kind of foiled.
Yeah, because they'll just put 2 energies on their active and have no other energies in play, and then it only does 240, which is atrocious. So
that's
we
funny
go
that
next, you think, Lucas?
No. Max Belt on the Sunflora. Yeah, let's go next. Grookey, which goes into Thwacky. Boom Boom
I
Drunk.
think this card is so broken,
Yeah, this
Lucas.
card's very, very strong. This is gonna be a card we probably talk about for a couple minutes, so let's get into it. So Boom Boom Drum. Once during your turn, if your active Pokemon has the Festival Lead ability, which is ability a few Pokemon have, like we have the Goldeen, we have the Swirlix,
Diplin, yes, there's Swirlix.
and Diplin. Diplin is not typically, well, it's gonna be in the decks that try to just use the attack, but I think
I think Diplin Thwacky's gonna be sick, but read Thwacky. Finish reading Thwacky.
Boom Boom Drum. If you have a Festival Lead ability Pokemon in the active, which is an ability, you may search your deck for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck.
This is Quick Search, but Quick Search has this little clause where you can't use more than one Quick Search a turn. This does not have that. So this stacks. You can have like 3 Thwackies in play and just triple Quick Search, which is crazy.
Yeah, so like what are some ideas that I know we've been thinking of some ideas. Why don't you share some?
Well, there's the obvious festival lead deck where you're like attacking with Diplin, basically only Diplin. But I think the more interesting thing for me is maybe like a control deck where you play like the Goldeen as one retreat. You can put the what is it, emergency board?
Yeah, emergency board, yeah.
Put emergency board onto your Goldeen.
No, it's rescue board. Rescue board?
No, it's definitely emergency board, I think.
Wait. Let's fact check. Rescue. I feel like it's rescue board. Got it. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's rescue board.
Huh. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
But then you could pivot into your Snorlax or your Mawile or whatever control thing you want from the active. And then Goldeen also has the ability to discard energies for a double turbo, which could come up. Yeah. So I think this could be interesting in control.
Its attack is if you it's if you have Plaza in play. We're not playing the stadium in control. Nope. Ring light fell.
L.
Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on with my ring light, but like sometimes it just falls. You ready to move on to the next card while I'm adjusting this?
Yeah, well, I think we have to move on to the Diplin and then other festival lead Pokemon anyways to like kind of show you what Thwacky could do. Because Thwacky.
Yeah, I'll move it to Diplin and then I'll keep working on my light.
Bro, you good?
It like fell, bro. Okay,
oh, it's fine.
You got the lead, bro.
Bro, you're just okay. Well, Diplin has the festival lead ability. While Lucas fixes his ring light. Basically says it can use its own attacks twice. So from my understanding and the common understanding I've seen, you can't use TM attacks twice with this. So its only attack is for 1 grass. It does 20 for each of your benched Pokemon. So basically doing up to 200 damage for 1 grass energy, which doesn't sound great. But when you think about it, I think it's very strong, especially if you're playing, you'll probably have to play Max Belt.
Yeah.
In this deck to kill Zard, because it doesn't kill Zard. Or does it? I guess it would.
It would kill Zard, yeah.
Yeah, the nice thing about this, you take the KO and then you can kill like a next thing. So against something like Lost Box, this would be really good because you can go like kill Comfey, they promote, take another knockout. So it can almost take like 2 prize cards. And then against things like Zard, it can take the 1 shot. Just the only thing is it's not killing things that aren't weak to it, basically. It's only doing 200 damage, which is not that much. But the Max Belt could come in handy for like basic EXs or something.
Every time I look away from my ring light, it looks like it's falling over. But yeah, I think there is something like against single prize decks is going to be very strong. Against Zard, it's going to be very strong. So yeah, this set is all of the wannabe Zard techs. It's wannabe Zard counters.
Yeah, I don't know if the Diplin deck is going to be ultimately that great, but I don't think it's the worst thing.
Yeah, you have to play like Vitband to reach 220, Max Belt to reach like 300. If you play Max Belt and the plus damage to EX supporter, EX or V supporter, you could one-shot Charizard, and then you could just play it again and one-shot another Charizard in an ideal world, which is never happening. But, you know, I think, like, with the Thwackies, you're going to be able to search these crazy combos out of your deck.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you play, like, a 4/4 Thwacky line and have triple Thwacky in play, you can just assemble your next attacker plus hit boss or whatever.
Which will be easier with this. Just want to show this. This will help in this deck, Hyper Aroma.
You think this is a Hyper Aroma deck?
Maybe, because you can Hyper Aroma for 3 Thwacky. But we'll talk about this more in depth later. Sorry, I'm zooming all about here. Iron Leaf, do you want to move on from the Diplin? Do you think there's anything else to talk about?
No, I think that's Diplin.
Yeah, that's Diplin. Good into 1 prizers. Iron Leaves. I'm so mad this card does not do 170. I literally made a tweet about this saying, why does this card not do 170? For a grass and 2 colorless, it does 100 plus 60 damage if you were knocked out from an attack from your opponent during their last turn.
So 320 damage.
320 to a Charizard. Can we just not print in Iron Leaves? It does 170, like a basic Iron Leaves. That's a baby Pokemon, not an EX.
No.
It'd be just sick. Like I could just go Mirage Gate.
So like if you're playing this in, there's kind of 2 ways to play this. You play this in Lost Zone decks, or you can play this in actual Future Box. Future Box doesn't really care. This does 160 because you're playing Crowns anyways, so you can just do the 180.
Yeah.
But Lost Box, this is a lot worse because you have to probably play a Cobalion with this, which isn't too bad, but...
Or a Vip Band.
Yeah, if you're playing like Town Stores or something. But the fact that it's not just like put it down, it kills. That's just such an easy combo to hit. But the third card is pretty rough.
So annoying. Yeah, I mean, that's really all you can do with this card. Like, Recovery Net is put up to 2 Pokemon for you to just compile into your hand. But, I mean, we literally have a new, basically, Clara coming out, so you just don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, the attack is fine. Like, it might come up every once in a while.
Yeah, true. But like, I think this card is decent. In all honesty, this card is decent.
Yeah, 160 for 3 is pretty good. Like, we've seen Snorlax be pretty strong. This is somewhat close to that kind of effect.
Yeah.
So I don't think this card is horrible. I could see it coming up in Lost Box, especially if people aren't playing Jirachi. Like, you run the risk of Turo, but you could 320 and then clean up with Sableye or whatever if you whiff the modifier.
Yeah, like Sableye will help the math there.
Yeah.
So you would probably have to play like Cologne because they're just gonna bench Jirachi if Iron leaves Lost Box becomes a thing. But I think the one thing we haven't been mentioning is their HP. This Iron Leaves has 120, and like that's just gonna get. It's just not as good as...
It lives Cram.
It lives Cram, but, like, Sableye kills it. I would like to see this have 130, I think. Like, I think this card is just, like, slightly underpowered. Maybe?
Yeah, they were 10 short on 2 stats.
Yeah, true. This card is, like... I don't know. I don't know what this card's like. It's a card. I think that's Iron Leaves. Do you have anything more to say?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, wait. This could go into decks that are, like, I don't know, decks that accelerate energies from hand, like something like Bax, like C-Pow, or like something like that.
There's no way Pow's playing this.
It's not gonna play it, but like I'm just saying, it could go in decks in the future where it's like attached.
Yeah, there's 2 colorless Pips, but
yeah, okay.
I don't think it's going in Pow.
Poltergeist. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. So this card cannot Grand or Sableye.
Pretty good basic to evolve from. The 30 HP is pretty much irrelevant because it's immune to everything when it's on the bench.
Yeah.
I don't think this is ever going to be replaced by a different Poltergeist for any reason.
Poltergeist would have to have that ability in, like, Call for Family.
Yeah.
But then there's another Poltergeist. There's an HP boost. Whoa. 40 HP. So its attack is put a grass energy from your discard pile into your hand. And then its second attack is 30 damage, flip a coin of tails, its attack does nothing. This card is not better than the other Poltergeist. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah, like this card is just, your basics are not, oh, sorry. Oh my gosh, that's the first time I've done that in a while. It's going on Do Not Disturb. My bad, guys.
The alarm's going to come on too.
Oh no. Oh, wait. Is there going to be an alarm? No, there's not going to be an alarm. WWW. Okay. Sinistra. That's not the Pokemon I was. But your basics, you're just kind of looking for basics that can tank or, like, survive. So, things with, like, the automatic built-in, like, effect resistance, effect, like, damage, effect immunity, damage immunity. It's very nice to have on your Pokemon, so you can get into Pokemon like your Sinistra. 1 grass energy, put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. And then for a grass, you discard up to 3 basic at grass energies, and you do 70 damage to each card you discarded in this way. But it only has 70 HP, so you literally have to do literally anything to kill it. What do you think about this, Landon?
I think it's horrible.
Yeah, this card is like just
discarding grass energy from your Pokemon. It's not that easy. I mean, you could play with Ogerpon, but I think you'd rather just attack with Ogerpon.
I'd rather just play C-Pow.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think that's
Sinistron really... EX? Is it any better? I don't think it is. Reach grass energy in your discard pile. Oh boy. Yeah, this card is not good either. Also, 240 hit points is really low.
Yeah, why don't you read it out?
It is for 1 colorless, Reciprocity on a 240 HP grass type EX. For each basic grass energy in your discard pile, you put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, so you can snipe, and then shuffle all the energies back. For 2 energy, you do 120 and heal 30 from each of your Pokemon. It's just so underpowered.
Yeah, very underpowered. Would have liked to see. I feel like this
Maybe
could
if
have
there's
been.
a 3 modifier, but even then it'd be bad.
This definitely could have been way better. Like, I feel like I like how this Pokemon has a spread thing. You just needed it to be better spread. This is not the kind of spread we need. Like, I think we'd rather have it be like shuffle up to 4 grass energies from your discard pile into your deck, and then put 2 damage counters on all of your opponent's Pokemon for each grass energy you shuffled. Like 8 to everything.
That would be broken. Bro, what?
That would it be?
That'd be so easy to do 80 spread every turn.
Yeah, okay. Maybe it would be like 40 spread everywhere.
Anyway, as this card stands, it's very bad.
Yes.
I think we can go
I'm
to
very
the
bad
next
at
card. This card is awful.
cards that are not broken. Like, all of my theoried cards that could come out are very, very, very broken. Teal Mask Ogerpon.
This one is also not the best, but you read it, Lucas.
No, why don't you read it out? I've been reading it out so much.
Okay, Teal Mask Ogerpon, 110 HP, grass type basic. 1 colorless Mountain Stroll, search for 2 basic energies, put them in your hand. 1 grass, 1 colorless, 20 plus 20 for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon, 1 retreat, fire weakness. This is just not going to do enough.
Why is this not like at least 120? Let it survive a cram hit, man.
Yeah, it also doesn't synergize with the mask, which we'll talk about. All the EXs have a synergizing item that they can play between each other, and this one does not interact because the item only interacts with EX Ogerpon. So,
yeah, this card just doesn't have anything that's appealing. Like your Ogerpon deck, if you're playing the Grass Ogerpon, like you can accelerate to this Ogerpon, but it's just not. Oh my God, it's falling again.
Bro, just turn it off.
Okay, it's fine right now. It's like actively. Okay, you know what? Whatever. I'm gonna move this down here. But yeah, this card just doesn't have enough power to justify committing your attachments with your Grass Ogerpon, which is the next card. So we'll move over to that soon. You just don't justify attaching to it. It does too little. Okay, Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. This is the first decently good card we've seen.
I thought this card when I first saw it was pretty bad, and then I thought it was pretty bad again, but now I actually think it's pretty good.
Well, why did you think it was pretty bad?
So I'll read it. Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, 210 HP, grass type basic. It is a Terra, so it has the built-in bench protection. Its ability is what we're looking for. Teal Dance. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic grass energy from your hand to this Pokemon, and then you draw a card. And then for 3 grass, it does 30 for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. So it's 30 plus, not 30 times. And then 1 retreat, fire weakness.
It's pretty good. I like it. It's just gonna be your way that your Ogerpon EX deck accelerates energies. It's like really the only.
I don't think the Ogerpon deck is real.
Yeah,
I think this card will kind of be like Galarian Moltres. That's why I think it's good. I think as an attacker, this card is pretty horrible. I mean, obviously it's going to have the ability to one-shot Charizard. But that's not really enough. It's not going to do any meaningful damage into anything else. It's going to be like two-shotting basic EXs most of the time, which is horrible.
Yeah, and this card just isn't tanky enough. Like, if it had a tank to it, like, I could maybe see it working. But it just doesn't have a tank factor. Like, so now if you're attacking with it, it's just definitely dying.
Yeah, and then you're like, most of the time you'd be trading like 4 for 2 if you're attacking with these, unless you're playing in Zard. But what I think this will be good for is it's going to cycle, so it's going to allow you to like do a little bit. If you use like 2 of these a turn, attaching 2 energies, drawing 2 cards is pretty good. But I think it'll kind of be like Galarian Moltres in Turbo decks, where you can accelerate energies and then energy switch off of this to other things. I think that's where this will be good.
Yeah, I think that's where it is. I think that's what it's going to do. It's also nice because you get to draw a card after you attach. So, like, it's a bit, like, better and worse than the Galarian Moltres. Moltres being able to get it from the discards really nice or Turbo decks, but Ogerpon drawing cards obviously nice for those decks that are going through their entire deck trying to energy switch to a big thing on turn 1 and swing. So, like, its attack is not even...
that will be
its attack
what it's here for.
Sorry. The attack is not even that bad. So, like, you can go attach. Like, you can go Teal Dance, attach, E-switch, and then kill a Zard. So.
Yeah, I mean, okay as an attacker. It's just not going to be great as
Yeah.
your main attacker. There is like the option of the Ogrepon EX Turbo deck where you can use these. The tool is basically an item Thornton for your Ogrepon EXs. So you can power up with Teal Dance and then switch into your other ones and then use like maybe Luminous Energy or something. But
Yeah, I think that's
I
how
don't think
people
that's real.
think the Ogrepon EX deck will work. I don't really think it's real either. I think all the Ogrepons will have spots in certain decks because they're all really strong. So I think they tried to make it work as like a every Ogrepon kind of deck, but the Ogrepons are just individually strong. And like this will go in a Turbo Grass deck. The water one will go in Sea-Pow. Fighting one will just be random tank card. Fire one could go in Zard. So like,
Okay.
whatever. You wanna move
We'll
on?
get to those cards. I think we should move on and we can talk about them when we get to them.
You have the right to say you have the not the right. You have the honors of saying this guy's name.
Slugma.
Yo. And then my Cargo EX. So it has the built-in terrestrialized ability. It's a terrestrialized Pokemon, obviously. I don't know why I didn't say that. Fire color, 70 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is not burned. And then for a 2 fire and a color, so does 140. And each player discards the top card of their deck. This attack does 140 more damage for each energy card discarded in this way. So, I think my first impressions is I can't really think of anything that would make this work consistently. And I
Yeah, because you have to power it up with Magma Basins. There has to be like switch cards involved, and then it's gonna have no HP because you have to ping it with Magma Basin. It only has 270, and then you have to play probably Cypher Maniac to stack an energy on top. So
Yeah.
I think this is way too many hoops to jump through.
like it's swinging for 280 where I could just be playing Lostina.
Yeah. So I think we can move on from Macargo. I don't think this will
we
see
can
any
move
play.
on from Macargo. I think it's just these kind of cards are really cool and they do have the strong effects, but right now we just have things that do their effects but easier and with more upside. Like Tina also gets to just play insane spread cards like Sableye and Gran.
Yeah. So there's a pretty mid Infernape.
Yeah, it's Fire Dancing, 140 HP, Stage 2, Infernape. Fire Dancing, once during a turn you may touch a basic fire energy, a basic fighting energy, or one of each from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. So, once you set it up, you know, that thing can start powering up, I don't know, Magcargos or random Pokemon.
Yeah. I think we need this to be a Vikavolt for it to be good.
True. When it's Vikavolt, the card just seems broken.
Yeah, this ability from the deck is very good, but once you have to start also comboing on top of getting your stage 2 that doesn't draw cards into play, like having to combo to get energies after that
I
is
thought
really
we were
hard.
just making a joke about how good Vico was. I forgot that Vico was from deck. But yeah, from deck makes these kind of strategies and these kind of
Yeah, that's the only time I think these non-deluge style stage 2s are going to be good, so I think we can move on from this.
Yeah, we can. Scorching Fire, just 200, but it's just not worth. Litwick.
Good Litwick. Call for Family.
Call for Family is broken. 60 HP, 1 retreat. Like, it's kind of got everything you want except for 70 HP. We're going to move down here now, so we're just changing so that there's different scenery. Lampent. Burn Out. Like, this is just not a good... This is a fine stage 1. Fine stage 1. I don't know why Sorry, my brain is just auto-tuned on reading every card. Not auto-tuned. Oh my god.
And then we have a mid Chandler. Once during each player's turn, or once during your turn, you can make each player draw a card. That is 30 for each card in your opponent's hand for 1 fire, so... Not good.
I feel like this is... I can't really think of any other way to put cards in our opponent's hand.
Yeah, this card is not playable.
Yeah, well, let's move on. Ogrepon EX, Hearthflame. That's kind of a sick name. So it's Terrestrialized, so it has that built-in bench protection. For a fire colorless colors, you do 20 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. And I will note that it has 210 HP, so it's not tanking too much. So you have to somehow tank something, and then you have to play the item that goes into this Ogrepon, Wrathful Hearth, and then just whatever. But I think its main usage is I saw a guy named Twitter called On Guard. He tweeted about this could go in Charizard with Max Belt. So you could go Charizard, attach 3 energies to it, Max Belt, and then 330 an active Charizard.
What is you didn't read the second attack. What is the second
Oh
attack
my
do?
gosh, sorry. Triple Fire, Dynamic Blaze, 140. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon, this attack is 140 more damage. And discard all energy from this Pokemon. So it's 280. So with a Max Belt, you're hitting 330, and you're OHKOing a Charizard. So
Also 280 is just a good number.
yeah, true.
I think this card can be good, yeah, like you said, in Zard, maybe in some sort of like Magma Basin deck, maybe in Charkius with the Armor Rouge.
This is also, yeah, this is good into I think maybe Zard could be playing this without even playing the max belt because it just removes Pidgeot from play.
Yeah, no, it's good into Pidgeot, it's good into Arc, good into Lugia, good into Tina.
Yeah, like this
It's just
Pokemon
going
is
to be
getting
kind of
very
a
relevant.
struggle to do more than one of these because you have to commit all three energies from your Zard ability to it, and then it discards them all.
I don't think you need to do more than one of them. It's just kind of a big boom thing.
Yeah, and then the first attack will come up. Like if it's something miraculously does not kill this in one shot, you can probably do some good damage without discarding energies. So that's kind of nice.
True. I think this is a fairly strong card. If it had more HP, I think Wrathful Hearth would be used way more.
Yeah, you
Obviously.
could maybe like play Charm with this or something, or
Yeah.
Hero's Cape, but even then it's kind of bad.
Yeah, I think Charm or something. That's a good idea because then it has 260, and 260 is like a semi-awkward number. Like you Dynamic Blaze into a Pidgeot, and then Zard can't one-shot you back. So then you evolve into another Zard, attach 3 more, and it's so bad. I don't know. This is a one-time thing. This is a one-time like big swing effect, like Rad Zard and Lost Boxes, but Lost Box could like retrieve it. But whatever, it's the same.
I think this card will see some play as a one of, but it's not going to be like its own deck or even in the Ogre Pond deck because you're already playing like grass energies and you can't get triple fire on here if you're playing all grass.
Just play 3 fire energy. Go attach fire manually.
Real. Goldeen time.
Goldeen, yes.
I
Okay.
think this is probably this maybe better than Diplin. If you're playing control with Thwacky, this is what you're doing. So it has Festival Lead as well. It can use its own attack Whirlpool twice in a turn, which is 2 colorless, 10 damage, flip for discarding an energy from their active Pokemon. And that's 50 hit points in 1 retreat.
So yeah, Festival Grounds is a stadium, by the way.
Oh, you have to have the Festival Grounds?
Yeah.
Okay, you have to have the stadium in place. I thought it was just you had to only have the Thwacky, but I was mistaken. And then the stadium is both Pokemon can't be affected by special conditions.
No, all Pokemon with energy attached, I think.
Okay.
Or basics, I don't know. So yeah,
but yeah, I think this is 1 retreat. You can double turbo this to maybe discard some energies. You get 2 tries if you're playing. I don't know if there's no real way to reflip in this format, so it's more so just 50% chance to discard energy twice. So
it's like fine. I think this card is definitely.
I think it's mostly the 1 retreat for Thwacky in control.
And also just like Whirlpool will come up. There will be random times, so you'll Whirlpool. Phoebus, W, Milotic. So this is a unique effect. I have 120 HP, stage 1 Pokemon, 1 retreat, weak to lightning, Hydro Splash, does 100 damage for 1 water and 2 colorless. And Serenity is the ability. Your opponent's Pokemon in play, and any cards attached to those Pokemon can't be put into your opponent's hand. So
it shuts off Turo, Penny, scoop up Cyclone, which we'll see is in the set. I don't think this is going to be very good. Might be niche against something once, but I don't think it'll be very good.
Good in control, like if you're wanting to play a 1/1 line of it so you can just Mawile.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Zard has to now play a different tech other than that if you're going to play the 1/1 Milotic, which seems kind of worth. The more I'm thinking about it, because then they have to play like 3 or 4 raw switches. So then you just play like Team Eel's Cheer. No, not Team Eel's Cheer. Misfortune Sisters. So then you Misfort Eerie, like kind of catcher.
No, it seems fine. I think it'll be like maybe a tech card in some decks, but
yeah, this is one of my favorite cards in the whole set. Frostlass. Freezing Curtain is Frostlass is a stage 1, 90 HP. Frost Smash does 60 damage for water and a colorless. It is weak to metal, and you have a color 1 retreat. I said 60 HP. I meant 90 HP. And then Freezing Curtain is your ability, and during Pokemon Checkup, put 1 damage counter on each Pokemon in play with an ability, except any Frostlass. So if I have 3 of these things in play, I'm spending 3 everywhere. Pretty good.
On Pokemon with abilities.
Oh, yeah.
Which most things do have abilities, honestly. Like everything in Zard has an ability for the most part. Everything in like Gardevoir has an ability for the most part. So there's like a lot of top decks, and then you'd probably want to be playing like somewhat of an aggressive, like basic EX attacking deck, like something like Moon or like a Hands deck or something, and then this kind of cleans up knockouts for you. So that's where I'd kind of see this seeing play.
Yeah, or you could
because your deck can't have abilities in it because it would kill you.
Yeah, or I see something like Buzz Shrine coming back. Like Buzz Shrine, if there's enough cards that are good enough in it, you could play like a small basic attacker that does decent damage, and then Freezing Curtain spam, and then you have like Pokemon that are countering. So like I could see this in like decks that I don't know. I was gonna say Lost Box, but then I realized Flower Selecting is a thing.
Yeah, you would get destroyed by this. This would be good, very good into Lost Box as well.
Sure. So yeah, I think this card has a lot of potential. I think this card will be the kind of card that will make the small one prize decks have a chance. These kind of
Yeah,
cards are very strong.
yeah. The one problem with this is you don't really be able to have a draw engine because all of your draw engine will want to have an ability, and then you'd be having to try and stack multiple Frostlass in play, which both takes up board space and would then kill your own Pokemon because you'd be trying to have like 2 or 3 Frostlass in play to build up lots of counters because only one of these wouldn't be very relevant.
Yeah.
I don't think.
So I guess you just have to play like almost no abilities, or like play a Collapse and a Lumi and a Squawk or something.
Yeah, something like that. But I think this card will be playable, but not fantastic. Probably won't see that much play.
Yeah, it'll probably be like in a one niche, one price deck. Do you want to move on?
Yes, there's a broken Froakie.
Brokey! This card is insane. By the way, this art is absolutely spectacular. I love it.
Yeah, so Froakie, there is a very good Greninja EX in this set. It just has the attack flock. It's basically just call for family. One water energy, search for 2 Froakie, put them on your bench. Shuffle your deck. Everything else is relevant as 1 retreat as well, which is nice. If a bad Frogadier, but we'll get to the Greninja EX event later.
This card's actually fun. If you want to play a one of, like this card is a pretty good one of stage 1.
Yeah, 1 water, flip for 20, or 20, flip for paralysis is okay.
Yeah, 1 retreat, 90 HP. Let's just go to the Greninja right now. Right here. Greninja.
Pretty sick.
310 HP. So a bit on the low slide. Low slide. Oh my god. Bit on the low side. But will still tank hits. It's a terrestrialized Pokemon, so you have that built-in bench protection. A Ninja Blade does 170, and you may search your deck for a card and put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. So
For 1 water energy.
For 1 water energy. And then for 1 water energy, 2 colorless, you discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So this card is just Rapid Strike Urshifu minus the Rapid Strike energy. You get
This card is a juiced Urshifu.
You get a way better attack. Oh,
so I think there's 2 directions with this card. I think you're either playing this with like some sort of Palkia Greninja pile, because you could use what's the Palkia's ability? Star Portal prior to evolving one of your water Pokemon, and then you can use Duplicate's Barrage. But I think this actually will see more play with Charizard. I think Charizard will probably be the thing that you do with this, because you can evolve in a Charizard, power up your Duplicate's Barrage, use the spread damage, and then also Ninja Blade is just like a very efficient attack that also sets you up for the next turn.
Yeah. I think this deck will see play in either Excalibur, Pidgeot. I don't know. Pidgeot, Excalibur, Greninja would not work. So I think this card will see play in either Excalibur, Barrel, Grendex, or, like I said, Zard. I think Zard's very strong with this. It's just more tricks for Charizard. Like, you're just going to go...
Yeah, this card has very good stats.
Yeah.
It's going to be somewhat interesting to, like, Turo spam with this, because Ninja Blade can just, like, set you up for the next turn. You'd have to play some Frogadiers to have the actual...
Yeah. I could see this
Pokemon
being really good with the Curlia Glade engine, because Glade can grab Turo.
Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff here. I think this card has very efficient attacks. Be careful of the psychic weakness, though. That could be very bad against something like Gardevoir. But it is going to be good into things like Arceus, like very aggressively good into Arceus.
Yeah, Arceus is literally going to quiver entering it. Like, the people who enter Arceus V-Star and within their deck into a regional are just going to be quivering. In their, like, their dreams are going to be...
I wouldn't even be that surprised to see, like, Arc Greninja. I think this card is just, like, a vanilla, very good card. If there wasn't something like Zard in the format, I think this could easily be, like, Tier 1 or S tier. Not quite S tier, I don't think it's that strong. But it's just, like, really well statted. It's just like Urshifu, but it's probably just better than Urshifu.
Yeah, better. Do you have anything else to say about Greninja EX?
Expect to see a lot of this card. It is very strong.
Yeah, like it has answers to everything. Like your like big decks, you're just gonna Ninja Blade twice. Your small decks, you're gonna Duplicate's Barrage and just like absolutely wipe their board. Like, this is a very strong card.
Yeah, it's very good.
Expect to see it. Let's go back to the Cramorant. We missed the Cramorant. This card
Cramorant's
is
bad. Palafin.
not good. 3 colorless energy, discard energy from this Pokemon, 120 to one of your opponent's Pokemon, 110 HP.
Bad.
It literally dies to its other form of itself. Weak to lightning, want a treat. Palafin. So, Finizen, there is a really good one that has 50 HP, attach, and for water energy, you can move it to the bench and evolve it to a Palafin, so you will be playing that Finizen. And then your 0 to hero ability on the Palafin. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from the active spot to the bench, you may search your deck for a Palafin EX and switch it with this Pokemon. Any attached cards, damage counters, special conditions, turns in play, and any other effects remain on the new Pokemon. If you switch the Pokemon in this way, shuffle this card into your deck. So it has 100 HP, 1 retreat, 1 lightning, and lightning weakness. Palafin EX. This card is insane. This card is like, I cannot understand. This card, looking at this card is just insane. Stage 1, 340 HP, 1 water, 250 damage. But its ability is this Pokemon can only go into play with the effects of Palafin's 0 to hero ability.
So, and then don't forget, it can't attack the next turn after it uses Giga Impact. It's weak to lightning, which is relevant to retreat, but this is probably just going to be a pretty close to solo Palafin idea. You're just going to be spamming Giga Impact, switching, healing with your Palafin. 340 hit points is a lot of hit points. It has a lot of hit points. You could also do maybe some like Palkia Greninja shenanigans, but...
Yeah, I agree. I think we play this with like Barbarrel or the Kirlia engine again. And then we just need to find a way to be able to switch that many times.
No, this is the Dunsparce angle.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I forgot. The Dunsparce broken in this deck because you literally just switch into your Dunsparce and then with the Palafin, and then you use the Dunsparce ability to draw 3, shuffle it in, and then you...
Or just use free retreat Dunsparce.
Yeah, like that.
The Dunsparce engine is very good.
Yeah, that works perfectly with this.
So this is just gonna be an aggressive deck. You're gonna be trying to one-shot their small things, two-shot their big things, and basically always get two-shot yourself, unless they're playing Iron Hands, in which case you're a little scared. But also, you'd be really efficiently able to answer the Iron Hands back.
Yeah, with like a vacuum, I could see this beating Turbo Hands, because then vacuum away the baton, and then you somehow have ways to respond. Like you're just gonna Iono spam at certain points with this deck. I could see this even playing like a 1-1 Gengar line, like the 101 Gengar.
Nah, you just play the physical copies of Switch.
Nah, that's lame.
But I think that's all I have to really say about Palafin. It's just very well statted. It's a little bit hard to get into play, but it's not that hard.
Yeah, I think this card will see quite a bit of play. Like, you can even go Palafin into another Palafin, and then Palafin ability into the new Palafin EX.
Yeah.
So, like, you can just have 2 Palafins and then go Palafin EX, and then you just win the game. So, oh, there we go.
Bro, I called the alarm. You gotta turn that stuff off. Wellspring Mask, Ogerpon EX.
Yeah. Let's go. Wellspring Mask. Why don't you explain this?
Okay, this card is like sneaky good. 210 HP water type, Terra as well. So on theme with all the other Ogerpons. It has a very good first attack, 1 colorless, 20, your points active, can't retreat the next turn. So some Mawile action here. And then Torrential Pump, 100 damage, water colorless. You may shuffle 3 energy, attach this Pokemon back into your deck. If you do, you snipe 120 on one of their benched Pokemon.
Very good card.
Yeah, so I think this is the only reason that the Ogerpon EX deck might be playable. I also think this is just possible in Chien-Pao, because not only does it shuffle the energy back, it's also additional sniping. But Rad Ninja is a 1-prizer and probably just better than this, so maybe it's not good there.
Once Radgren rotates, the Chien-Pao dies anyway.
So. Yeah, you could play this after Radgren's gone.
But Chien-Pao dies anyway.
Torrential Pump also has the potential for turn 1 use with the Ogerpon deck, because you can use the item after using like E-Switch plus Ogerpon Grass's ability.
That's nasty. Yeah,
and then you could attach.
You can literally go draw, attach, and then use the ability of the grass one, draw, use the ability draw, Prime Catcher, E-Switch, remove your entire board, shake my hand.
Yeah, so that exists. I don't think that will make the Ogerpon deck especially playable, because not only do you have to hit that pretty hard combo turn 1, that's like, and then if they draw out of that, you're just hitting for like 30 for each energy on both active, which is pretty bad.
Yeah, but the fighting one might give it potential. But
yeah, but I think this card is fine. I think Luxray EX though.
I like the sob on this Pokemon. We're getting another you're getting another Mawile effect, except it's
so it's just a sneaky out to win some games you would never win otherwise.
Yeah.
Luxray, I'm really excited about Luxray.
This card is so good. For like, So, Stage 2, Luxray EX. 310 HP, Piercing Glare, 2 colors, 120. Your opponent reveals their hand, choose a card you find there, and discard it. So, it's not like Luxray V, where it's only a trainer. It's literally any card in their hand. You can play Defiance Band, and then you can go, like, Neo Upper Energy. No. Wait. There was something I was totally... That's annoying. There was definitely combos to KO a Pidgeot with this. Wait. Is double
Max
turbo
build?
is double turbo after?
Oh boy, it's definitely pre.
It's before.
Definitely.
Before applying weakness and resistance. So yeah, okay. So you're only doing 260 into a Pidgeot, but wait. Oh my God, is Defiance Band that? Wait, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter. We'll stop.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the card now. 310 HP Lightning type EX stage 2. 2 colors, 120. Lucas already said this, but you discard a card from your hand, and then 2 energy, 2 lightning, not 2 colors, 250. You discard energy, all energy attached to this Pokemon.
Yeah.
Then it's 1 retreat, fighting weakness.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think?
I think this card, I don't think there'll really be a standalone Luxray deck. I also think that Greninja EX coming out at the same time is very problematic for this card because of the fighting weakness. But there's going to be some interesting plays, especially with something like Unfair Stamp. You can do like Unfair Stamp, Piercing Glare if you get turn 2 candy. So you could maybe play this in like a control deck, or I just don't think Luxray Pidgeot is going to be very good. I'm curious actually with how many more of these good stage 2 AXs we're just going to have like X plus Pidgeot EX, kind of like Zard Pidge, and just with other things.
Luxray EX, Unfair Stamp, Eerie, Piercing Glare.
Yeah, but I do think that Greninja EX coming out at the same time is actually, the more I think about it, going to make this card just horrible because Greninja just so easily one-shots this.
But I don't know if Greninja's going to be in every deck. So it's going to be in a percentage of...
I think Greninja is going to be a pretty sizable portion of the metagame.
Yeah, Greninja is...
I really do think that Zard Greninja will be something that's not non-existent.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to say about this? Bolt Strike.
I don't think so.
Did we mention Bolt Strike?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
This is probably mostly a control card, but Morpeko is pretty cool.
So Snack Search. Once during your turn, you may look at the top card of your deck, and you may discard that card. And then for your Lightning, pick and stick. Attach up to 2 basic energy cards. Some of you discard piles to your Pokemon in any way you like. So Snack Search is...
If this had free retreat, this would be really good.
Why?
Because a good free retreat pivot with a good attack if you're playing light energies, and then the ability is like somewhat close to draw a card. Somewhat close.
Yeah, kind of.
I think this is like not a horror. Like if you're playing like a turbo deck and you just want to like go poffin for double Morpeko, and every turn you can just like discard a card and get to thinner. I don't know. I think this is something to be interested in.
Yeah.
And it holds a rescue board. So
this card is something that is like I know I'll probably have a moment where it's like I need to just always be able to discard the top card of my deck for my random control deck that needs 30 cards in one turn to win the game against this one specific matchup.
Yeah, it also would be helpful into like something like a Yell Cheer loop, or just like something that shuffled back 3, something like that.
I think this is like a fairly strong card. It has decent stats, and it's something that may or may not have a limitless page. I'm going to say 33% chance to have a limitless page.
Sure. Next card that we've already talked about.
Iron Thorns.
We've talked about Iron Thorns already, so let's do this quick.
So,
it's a Path to the Peak when it's in the active. It's 230 HP Lightning EX feature. And then for 3 Lightning, colorless, 140 movement energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched. 4 retreat cost, Lightning, or Fighting Weakness.
So this works perfectly in Turbo Hands with a Heavy Baton. It's just Disruption, because all of their Roblox Pokemon have no abilities when it's in the active. So the Heavy Baton and some Iron Crowns down, you're swinging for like 180. You're shutting them down. You're moving energies. Good Pokemon. We've already talked about this in a previous episode. So I think we can move on.
Yeah.
I think it just gives Turbo Hands more options. So Girafarig. Is this card worth talking about? No.
No.
For Rigoraph. So 140. No. Well, yeah.
40 damage feature your stage 1 in one play, so what it caps at?
240.
Okay, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's fair. Flabebe. Non-free retreat, 40 HP, heal 30 from one of your Pokemon as a basic. Floette, search your deck for 3 basic energy, reveal them, put them in your hand. Not worth. Florges. Once during a turn, you may flip a coin. If heads, switch from one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. The new active Pokemon is not confused. We saw
Yeah,
this.
you're never evolving into this, right?
Yeah, we saw this with Loopy, Lasso, Venusaur, and it just was never played.
Flipping a coin after getting into your stage 2 that doesn't draw cards is pretty bad.
Yeah, Florges does love to flip coins though. Stall went so hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Swirlix. So this is the other festival lead Pokemon that you can consider playing in Control or in the. No, this is not a card. This is not a card. This is definitely just worse than Goldeen. Swirlix is if the festival grounds is in play, you can use the attack twice. If the first attack knocks out your opponent's Pokemon, you may attack again after your opponent chooses a new active Pokemon. So, for a Psychic Energy, it does 2 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon.
So
this is just worse than Goldeen.
1 Psychic for 20 to 2 different things, or to 1 thing. 40 damage for 1 energy. Not it.
Scream Tail EX. So this card definitely has potential.
We've talked about this one as well, I think.
We have talked about Scream Tail EX, yes. Oh, my bad. Scream Tail EX is a 190 HP ancient Pokemon, so as soon as I see that, I'm seeing Booster Capsule 250. For 1 colorless, you can use this attack only if you go second and only during your first turn. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any supporter cards from their hand, and for Psychic colors, you do 120 and you discard an energy from your opponent's out of Pokemon. So I know Cyrus Davis tweeted about this and was like, this could be good with Unfair Stamp, Ingardy, Shriek, and then you just crunch. Like you can go Shriek and then you can go like Crunch Spam and then you can buy turns to sped up.
I think this card is
not
good.
Sped up. Oh my gosh. Set up. I think this card's fine. What do you think?
Yeah. I think this card is good.
Let's move on because we've already talked about it. Fezandipity. So I sometimes refuse to believe this is a real Pokemon and other times think this is one of the coolest ones.
There's a dark energy attached. You flip a coin to do damage to it. So they have to. If you flip a heads, it prevents damage if it gets attacked. And
it
then
has a dark energy.
It does 1 Psychic, 30 for each energy attached to this Pokemon.
So like it's not 2 decks, but this is just not as good as a Spothra.
I think it could be pretty annoying. Like you're realistically like 3-shotting things though, so that's really bad.
Yeah, they have 3 turns to flip a heads, and then you also need to play dark energy. I don't think this is it.
No.
Okay, we've already talked about Greninja. Tinglu. Wait, do you have anything else to say about
No.
Okay, cool. Tinglu. Ground Crack. 140 HP. 3 retreat, weak to grass. 1 fighting energy, Ground Crack, 30 damage. If a stadium is in play, this attack does 30 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon, then discard that stadium. So this is pretty good. Like in that Frostlass deck, you could be playing fighting energy Tinglu and then just stadiums and then spread.
Yeah, hopefully they don't play Manaphy, right? But I think this is pretty efficient spread. 30 to each bench. You just have to have a stadium every time, so you're probably playing at least 4 stadiums, hoping to maybe discard your opponents once or twice. But I don't think this card is great, but
probably just 4 Artisan.
Yeah.
Like you could totally play 4 Artisan, and then you could play like Bravery Charm, Hero's Cape, and then just spread, and then you're just gonna go like Blood Moon or Saluna in the late game with. Blood Moon or Saluna is crazy.
Yes, we'll get to that one.
You ready to? Do you have anything else to say about?
I think we can move to the next one. We got Okidogi.
Okidogi, sick name. Pokemon.
This card's interesting in something like Lost Box. Yeah. Its ability, it's one of the dark attached ones. It's plus 100 HP, and if it attacks, it does 100 more damage to your opponent's active, and then does 2 fighting for 70 damage.
So you need to have fighting dark to do it.
Yeah, so you'd have to have 3 energies on it. So like this would be pretty Mirage gateable, but you'd have 230 HP state or basic single pricer that does 170, which is pretty efficient.
Pretty efficient. Like this is just Snorlax, but with way more HP.
Yes, but also it's fighting weakness, which is relevant. But
good into Arc, and good into Blissey EX. Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX is another.
This is probably the best Ogerpon.
I disagree with that. I think it goes water, fighting.
No, I think you're overrating the water. Greninja is just so much better than that EX.
Is it though? Like 100.
So much better. It's a 1-prizer that draws 2 cards.
120 kills Bib in the late game.
Again, I'm not saying it's horrible, but I think this card is like just a one-of that can beat entire decks. Like, how does Zard touch this thing?
True. Maybe this is best, but it's kind of close. I would say this is probably either the best or like very close. So, Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX is a fighting Ogerpon. 210 HP. And it is a terrestrialized Pokemon, so it has that inbuilt bench protection. And then for an ability, it's a bit. Oh my gosh, dude! I swear to God, half the time I'm on podcast, I just can't say words. So its ability is Cornerstone Stone. Its ability is Cornerstone Stance. You prevent all damage from attacks done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability. So this is like Alolan Vulpix, but it doesn't.
Much better than Vulpix. It's a basic.
But yeah, it's a basic, and it cannot be Prime Catcher bossed around. So this is built into the card. So decks like Zard are going to be scared of it. Like Ogerpon will just be a deck that plays Fighting Energies, DTEs, and Lost Cities. So that you Lost City, they're like two things that they play that don't have abilities, and you're cruising. This card seems way better than the water one.
Yeah.
It seems really
and then
good.
does for fighting 2 colors 140. It goes through all effects. It does not hit for weakness or resistance. So it's going to be able to get through Mimikyu very easily. There's nothing. So you could literally just play a quad Ogerpon deck, and it would just go through everything. You would be able to win every game, assuming that they don't have multiple things that can kill your ability.
So yeah, this will be the kind
so
of
it's
deck.
Just going to be kind of a counter meta deck. If Alolan Vulpix is good right now, then I think this card will be very good because, like Lucas said, you can't boss around it. It's an ability. It's not an effective attack. It's not going to have to evolve from a very fragile V.
Yeah.
And you can just start this.
I think this deck is. This reminds me of Stonejourner VMAX, where you would just play straight this and just win.
Like, yeah, and it's efficient enough damage that it's going to get through things. It's going to be at least 3-shotting everything in the game, which is enough damage to be getting through stuff, right?
Oh, wait, this isn't affected by resistance. Oh, that's so much better. Psychic Pokemon ain't got nothing on Ogerpon EX.
Real. But yeah, I think this card will be somewhat good. Next card that's probably good is Dracloak.
Oh, yeah, Mightyena is a Stage 1 Dark type that has 120 HP, and then its pack outing attack is 90 more damage for each of your bench Mightyena. So you could theoretically swing for 300, but like
4 Midienas in play. Nah, it's not happening. There's a bad Brute Bonnet too. I think this Brute Bonnet's not great.
Yeah, ancient Pokemon, 120 HP, 1 Dark, Poison Spray. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned, and then for 3 Dark, it does 50 damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So this could be going into the Frostlass, like Tinglu thing, but then you need to play Dark Energies.
Yeah, and it's triple Dark too, so.
Triple Dark is like, I feel like I'd rather this be like 40 or 30 damage each, and then just like 2 Dark.
Yeah, if it was 2 Dark, this attack would be good, but I don't think as it is, this is going to be a good card.
This would be broken with 2 Dark.
Dracloak, bro.
Okay, Dreepy is pretty good. 70 HP, want a treat. Dracloak. So, this is trade-off. This is trade-off.
Good, you passed.
Well, I was gonna say it, but then I was like, I wanna look like the first thing I thought of was not Pidgeotto. So Dracloak is a 90 HP Dragon type that has a Renaissance Raid. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put one of them into your hand. Put the other card at the bottom of your deck. So this is trade-off, and this is airmail. So people who played in 2019 and people who played in 2010 will know its effect.
Yeah, I think this is weaker than Refinement. It does not filter your deck nearly as well. It does not build your hand nearly as well. So like, it's going to be most of the time worse. But I think if you're exclusively playing Dragon Ball EX, this is going to be very good. I don't really think there's any decks that would play this over Refinement as like a draw engine, or Bibarel. Bibarel is probably better, and Dunsparce. There's so many different things that are competing for stage 1 draw effects.
And I feel like Dracloak is just slightly worse. Like
probably the weakest one.
There might be a control deck that likes to do it so that you can filter through cards, but like,
yeah, I just think Refinement is better. Like,
it's nice in control because then at the end of the game you can continue to loop.
Yeah, but Dragon Ball EX is probably what makes this card see play, if it does. Dragon Ball EX 320 HP Dragon type Terra EX Pokemon, so it has built-in immunity on the bench. 1 colorless energy, 70 damage, so decently efficient first attack. And then for Fire Psychic, you're doing 200, and then you can spread 60 damage on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like, so 6 counters. So pretty reminiscent of Dragon Ball VMAX.
Opponent's bench Pokemon. Not opponent's Pokemon. That would be Pokemon. Yeah, you said opponent's Pokemon, so some people might think it can get active.
Oh, I see. Bench Pokemon.
Yeah. I think this is going to be very strong in formats where they're... I
think the big thing here is pretty efficient attack.
Dang.
you're probably playing Neo Upper Energy, which kind of sucks.
Okay, you completely glitched. So, do you want to say that again?
Lucas?
Hello?
Lucas?
Hello. I am confirmed here.
Oh, I stopped talking. Anyway, I thought you cut out, but I just think this is going to be pretty efficient. Spread. No weakness is huge. This is going to be pretty bulky. But I don't think it's great because you get one free Neo Upper Energy to power up your Dragapult one time, but then it's pretty awkward to power this up.
Like, you can play Mela. Mela might be good. Mela's like another way. But I also like how this...
Yeah, I don't know. I think this card won't be great.
Yeah, I think it's nice to, like, get rid of Bidoofs. I think this card could pleasantly surprise us. I think this card could.
I don't think this card is horrible, but I don't think it's going to be fantastic. You're up against a lot when there's a Greninja EX in the set and Zard already existing.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. There is just way better snipe in Greninja. So, but do you have anything else to say about this card?
Tatsugiri, though. No, but I think Tatsugiri is great.
Okay, let's go. Tatsugiri. This card is insane. So why don't you explain it?
Okay, attract customers. Once during your turn, if it's in the active spot, you look at top 6, pick a supporter, put it in your hand, shuffle the rest into your deck. 1 retreat, 70 hit points, irrelevant attack, no weakness. This is Mysterious Tail for supporters. This is going to be very good early, but even better late. Think if you have a board on this, you're pretty close to just having guaranteed boss late game. If your deck is somewhat thin, you have a multiple boss in your deck. So this is going to be ionoproofing, like very effective ionoproofing, like this digging for research and or other draw supporters or boss or iono. And that early game, it's going to be very good for consistently hitting supporters, especially in decks like Sada decks.
Yeah, like Ancient Box might want to just play like a one of this and a rescue board. Because that deck is
I think this card is very efficient. It could be also very good in control.
Yeah. Like, this card will just be good in really anything. Like, any deck that just needs ionoproofing or any deck that is aggressive, like, will just play a Tatsugiri. Because attract customers.
This card is great.
Crazy. Yeah, I think this card is one of the best cards in the set. It is extra dig for your supporter. Like, this goes immediately into Lost Box. This immediately goes...
Maybe. I guess if you think about it, it's kind of, if you don't have Chloris already, it's kind of like 2 selectings, but maybe a 1 of in Lost Box. I don't say anything immediately.
Yeah, no,
but I think, this card's going to be a very good staple. Not much else to say other than it's going to be very good in multiple decks.
Cool. Blissey EX. So, this card is pretty cool. So, 300 HP, stage 1. Happy Switch is once during a turn, you may move a basic energy card from one of your Pokemon to another of your Pokemon. So, that's helping your Turo loops. And then for 3 colors, it does 180, and you may draw cards until you have 6 cards in hand. It is a colorless type and has 4 retreat. Yeah, true.
If this wasn't weak to fighting, it would be playable. I think as is, Greninja EX is going to gatekeep this unless there's something like Dunsparce that gets printed. I think if there was no good fighting Pokemon, this would be a pretty efficient like Churn looping deck because, like Lucas said, the Happy Switch, you can just move it to your bench Chansey, and then Churn, evolve, attach double turbo, attack, fill your hand back up. And then there is also the Chansey that takes extra prize cards, so you might be able to like flip some coins and have some lucky prizing.
Well, hopefully everyone knows, but if there is, the Chansey is, once you pull it from the prize cards, you can flip a coin if heads, put it onto your bench, and then take an additional prize card. So
a non-zero amount of times while you're playing this deck, you will get to take 1 extra prize, which is cool.
Yeah, like if you have... It's funny to me that if in a theoretical world you were to play Hisuian Heavy Ball in this deck and you saw only a Chansey, you would fail the Hisuian Heavy Ball.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, like I don't even think you need to play DTE in this kind of deck. Well, yeah, you would play DTE, but then you would eventually move it to a spot where Happy Switch is moving 2 basics, and then you go attach return. But I don't think you can even do that with a DTE. Then
180 is decent. It does better damage than 160, so you can 2-shot Zards. But yeah, I think this card is fine. Probably move on to the next one, though. I don't think this card is fantastic.
New Eevee. So for 50
Ascension.
50 HP, you can just evolve. Its attack is search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon and put it onto this Pokemon to evolve it and shuffle your deck. So pretty strong. 1 retreat. 50 HP kind of sucks. Blood Moon Ursaluna.
We've talked about this card already, but it's very good. 260 HP colorless type EX. Basic. 260 HP, by the way.
Yeah.
Its attack costs 1 less for each prize card your opponents have taken, and its only attack is 5 colorless energy, 240. It can't attack the next turn, through retreat, weak to fighting. It's pretty much like a Radzard that you can loop. It's very tanky. It's going to be good in control. It's going to be good in a lot of decks.
Yeah, like it's gonna. What was the deck that I said it was gonna be good in automatically? Like it was just. What was the? There was definitely a deck.
I don't know.
It was
It's going to be good in a lot of things.
It might have been
very splashable.
It might have been the Tinglu like. Yeah, it was the Tinglu. Yeah, so like a Tinglu spread deck. With like that's just my first idea. It's probably not that good, but I will try it with like the Frostlass. So if you play a Frostlass deck, and then theoretically we'll just say for the time being we're playing Tinglu. We're moving 30 everywhere. We're spreading the entire game, and then the late game you go Iona to 1, Blood Moon, and then they have to be like, dang, I have to respond to this now. So then they probably will not be able to respond to it because every one of their support Pokemon have died from your spreads, and then you go Sharon Blood Moon. And then you just win the game because your thing is insane. In the late game, this is just a automatic one of in every control deck. Radzard is mid. Now, the only thing I like about Radzard is like you may even still want to consider it because
Radzard's still good. This card does not kill Radzard. Radzard's a 1 prizer. This is not a 1 prizer, but this card will be very good in addition.
And 250 is a way better number than 240 because Choice Belt brings it up to 280.
Correct.
So,
but yeah, we've talked about this card already. This card is going to be fantastic. Probably the best Pokemon in the set. Next card is
Tatsugiri. Bugcatcher set. Very, very, very strong card.
You look at top 7, pick any grass Pokemon and grass. Any combination of 2 grass Pokemon and basic grass energy. Put them in your hand. So pretty random. I wouldn't prefer to play this.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I really like it. Like I think if you're playing, everyone I've watched have been like, this card is very strong in your Turbo Grass decks. Like Ogerpon plays it so that you can find the grass energies to attach. Like your Turbo decks that are using those Ogerpon strategy definitely plays the Bugcatcher set to try to hit energies to just attach.
Yeah, I just dislike your consistency card that can whiff, but
I mean, it's like Pokegear.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think this card's fine. There's not really any deck that would play right now because there's not really any good grass decks, but
yeah. Okay, Caretaker.
Bad.
This card's
Draw
bad.
2 cards, shuffle back deck. Carmine is cool. I think Carmine's very good. If you go first, you can play this card during your first turn. It's a supporter. You discard, draw 5. So it's a much worse research, but you can play it going first. If there is like maybe like Lugia could play this, any Luminion deck, you could search for this. I also think it's possible some sort of turbo deck that's playing 4 research. You could play like 4 research, 4 Carmine, and then just be rocking the discard draw.
4 Carmine is so whack. That's crazy.
Well, then you hit it going first, so you just choose first. You can Carmine going first. So basically, every turn you're discarding your hand and drawing 5 to 7 cards.
Yeah, I think
so that could be a potential engine. I think this card is sick. I don't know how good it will be in multiple different kinds of decks, but it's a cool concept to be exploring.
Yeah. Community Center. So once during each player's turn, if that player played a support card from their hand during their turn, they may heal 10 damage from each of their Pokemon. So it's okay.
Probably better than Champions Festival.
Yeah.
So.
You know, everyone buy it now. Let's.
Pretty mid.
Yeah.
The next item though is Broken Enhanced Hammer. We knew about this last time we talked about cards, but this card will be an ultra staple. Discard a special energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon as an item. Way better than Fan of Waves. If that was the last time you've seen an effect like this while you're playing. But this is a 1 to 2 of in a lot of decks in formats where this card is legal. So
yeah, like in any Pidgeot deck, you're automatically playing Enhanced Hammer for Lugia, for like the Fighting Ogerpon, for like Dragapult for Neo Upper Energy. I'm just trying to think of anything that plays special
very
energy.
Good. Also, there's a new A-Spec energy we'll see in a bit, but
yeah, this card is very strong, and we'll see a copious amount of play. Not copious. This card
Fable
is insane.
Flute. Fable Flute is a interesting control tool. Reveal the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck. You put any number of basic Pokemon you find there onto their bench, and then shuffle the rest back. So, I don't think this card will be great, but there is no zone that your Pokemon aren't safe from now. Mantine for discard, deck for this, and hand for Erica. So,
yeah, I think Fable Flute could be okay.
Yeah,
Festival
but it can
Grounds.
whiff pretty easily.
Festival Grounds, very, very like mid card on its own. Each Pokemon that has any energy cannot be. Oh my gosh! Each Pokemon that has any energy attached can't be affected by any special conditions. Remove any special conditions affecting this Pokemon. So on its own,
This
it's
is
like
just for
decent,
the festival
but
deck.
this is just for like Diplin and everything else. This is your
Yeah.
stadium that makes you attack twice. Okay, Handy Circulator. So if this Pokemon this card is attached to is your active Pokemon is damaged from an opponent's attack, even if it's knocked out, you may move an energy attached to your active Pokemon. You may move an energy. No, you have to. You have to move an energy attached to that active Pokemon to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. I'm sorry. I swear to gosh, I'm better at the English language.
I think it could be interesting in control decks, but I think most of the time in a control deck you're going to be playing an HP buff tool. So
Yeah, that's what I think will be the case. Like this card is theoretically good in control, but then you're gonna want like Hero's Cape, and you're gonna want Bravery Charm, you're gonna want Defiance Vest. So
yeah,
I don't think this card makes rotation. Hassle. So
Hassle's cool.
Very, very strong in combo decks. So you can play this card only if only if any of your Pokemon are knocked out during your opponent's last turn. And then you look at the top 8 cards of your deck and put 3 of them into your hand, shuffle the other cards back into your deck. This is a way better Colossus experiment. This card is quite strong, will be a one of in like one prize decks, like that Tinglu spread deck. Woo! We'll play Hassle. Because it's just very good. Good in combo oriented decks. So
yeah, 8 is a lot. 3 is a lot to put to hand. I think this card will see some play. It's not going to be a staple because it's not you can't play it any turn of the game. Like you have to have been knocked out. So, but it's a very good dig.
This art is also sick. We have like I don't know who Hassle is, but the Ditto and it's sick. Okay, Hyper Aroma. So the first A spec that we are looking at. Search your deck for up to 3 Stage 1 Pokemon, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So like the Thwacky deck could just Arven for Hyper Aroma, and then Hyper Aroma for 3 Thwackies, and then just go quick search. You can play this in Gardevoir. You can play this in like any Stage 1 deck. You can play this in Dragapult to Hyper Aromas into your Dracloaks.
I think this card
it's
going to be tough to play this.
Yeah,
especially with Secret Box. I think Secret Box is probably the better consistency of the two.
I think Secret Box is so overrated, but we're gonna talk about.
I don't think Secret Box is very good, but I think it's better than this card.
I think Hyper Aroma at least sees like play, and Secret Box will see some, but Hyper Aroma could definitely see play in like the Dracloaks.
I think Hyper Aroma is pretty mid, but maybe it's good. I don't know.
Jamming Tower.
Jamming Tower is pretty good.
Very, very, very strong card.
Stadium. Pokemon tool cards in play have no effect, so it's kind of cool, proactive. You can play it, have it stick, and then their tools can be used. So kind of different than Lost Vacuum in that way. It can be proactively used, but they can also just bump it. So
yeah, I feel like this card is quite strong. Yeah, I mean it's good in a Gardevoir, because then their tool card goes away, and then you swing, and then they have to bump it. Like very strong. It's a Stadium bump too. Like this could just be your Stadium bump with decks that don't play Stadiums. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kieran.
This card is very cool. So if you choose one, you can switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, or during this turn, your Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX or Pokemon V. So this kind of card will see play. It's a switch out at worst, and at best, it's fixing math in the Charizard mirror match. Like, I think Charizard will play Kieran.
This card is sick. It's going to be good in, like, Pidgeot piles. You can switch or boost your damage.
Yeah.
Very good modal spell.
Very, very, yeah. Spell, let's go. Lana's Care. So, put up the 3 in combination of Pokemon that don't have a rule box, and basic energy cards can be discarded by into your hand. So, very, very strong in Lost Box. This is just Clara, but slightly worse than Clara.
Way worse than Clara. You can't get back Radzard.
Yeah, and you can't get back, like, regular energies. No, oh my gosh. Yeah, you can't get back Radzard, and you can't get back 2 Pokemon and 2 energies. So, way worse than Clara, but still very strong. Clara was just
somewhat playable.
Broken.
Yeah. We have a very bad Love Ball. Unplayable Love Ball.
Yeah, search your deck for Pokemon with the same name as one of your Pokemon to play. This is only good in Zard if you're expecting literally 50% Zard in the meta.
Yeah. And then Lucian is also pretty awful. It's like Ilima, but a little bit better, I guess.
Each player shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of their deck. If either player puts any cards on the bottom of their deck in this way, each player flips a coin. If heads, that player draws 6. If tails, they card 3 cards.
Nice. Typo.
Let's go.
So, too much RNG, not worth nowhere near Iono level. Lucky Helmet is maybe playable too.
Yeah. So, it's a tool. if this Pokemon this card is attached to is in the X spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, draw 2. This card has seen play in some decks, like in tank decks. You played it, I think, in Stonjourner.
Yeah.
For just because you were tanking and you just wanted cards. But
yeah, this
now,
card has seen play before, but I don't think it's great. There's like gift energy and stuff, so.
Yeah, true. It's just better. Now we move on to the crazy stuff.
Ogre's Mask.
Oh, never mind.
Item Thornton for your Ogerpon EXs.
Yeah,
That's exactly what this card
in your
says.
discard pile that has Ogerpon in its name. Ogerpon. Oh, yeah. Choose a Pokemon EX in your discard pile that has an Ogerpon in its name. And switch them with one of your Pokemon EX in play that has Ogerpon in its name. Any attached cards, damage kind of special conditions, turns in play, and any other effects remain on the new Pokemon. So, the obvious consistency, the obvious synergy is like attach energies with the grass one, energy switch, Ogre's Mask into a water of fighting one, attach the equivalent energy, and then swing.
Yeah, I don't think the Ogerpon deck is real.
Yeah, I don't think it's real. I think these cards are all very good on their own, though.
Yeah, there's a couple interesting ones. The next 2 supporters are pretty awful. Perrin, real 2 Pokemon from your hand, put them in your deck and search for 2 Pokemon. So, double Pokemon communication on a supporter, not playable. Not
very good at all. Let's move on.
Play items. Then Rhyfort, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. I mean, discard any number of the cards you find there and put the other back in any order. So you do not draw any cards. This card is nowhere near playable.
Yeah, research is just way better. You just draw all of them. Scoop up Cyclone. So this is where the crazy stuff comes in. Scoop up Cyclone. A-Spec. Item. Reprint. Put one of your Pokemon and all attached cards into your hand. This card is very strong in like Magnezone control. So Magnezone control will just grab Scoop Up Cyclone and like a Crushing Hammer or a Pal Pad, and you will just loop and you will win the game.
Yep. This card could see play in Zard. I don't know about control because Hero's Cape is so good.
Yeah, Hero's Cape is insane.
This card will probably not see that much play because the other A-Specs are such high competition, but this card will definitely see some play. It's very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Secret Box. I think this card is so overrated. This card is not good at all.
This card is really cool, but I think its competition is too strong.
I think, in a hot take, I think this card is just like worse than Secret Aroma.
I think this will be good in League. Anyway, you discard 3 cards. It's an item.
Oh wait, yeah, never mind. I take it back. It's good in certain decks.
You have to discard 3 cards, so it's a very heavy cost. But you search your deck for an item, a tool, a supporter, and a stadium, and put them in your hand. So you discard 3 and discard a card. So it's -4, get 4. So you're breaking even on this. You have to kind of build your deck around it, maybe in like an Arven deck or Irida deck or something like that.
Or like, yeah, like I think this is, it's good in certain decks. It's good in Ancient Box because you can just ditch a bunch of ancient Pokemon or ancient cards and then take like Explorer's Guidance. It's very strong in Lugia. It's good in like very turbo decks that want cards of the discard.
Yeah, is this better than Drum? This is pretty sick. Like discard 3 ancients, search your deck for Booster Capsule, Sada, Pokestop, and an item. You can also get like an Ultra Ball or something, or like a Nest Ball. Dark Patch broken. But yeah, this card will be interesting. I don't know how much play it will actually see because its competition is so tough, but it's cool.
Yeah, I think this card is strong. I think Prime Catcher and Unfair Stamp and so many other cards are better. Survival Cast is a very interesting card that I sadly do not think will see much play. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is full HP and would be knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, that Pokemon is not knocked out and its remaining HP becomes 10, then discard this card.
This is reminiscent of Focus Sash. It's just not type specific to fighting types. You'd have to be playing like a deck that could loop this and build some sort of loop around this, I think. Or maybe it's good in like a basic EX deck, but it's just going to be negated by the new Stadium and Lost Vacuum pretty frequently.
Yeah, so I just don't think this card is very strong.
I think this is pretty much what Hero's Cape does a lot of the time, but Hero's Cape just has more utility because Hero's Cape usually pushes you outside of KO range. This is what this does.
Yeah, I think, and Hero Cape stays on, so you can like penny and then pick up the Hero's Cape.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so now we move on to probably the best or the second best on A-Spec, Unfair Stamp. We've already talked about this, but you can only play this card if one of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, and then each player shuffles their hand into their deck. You draw 5, your opponent draws 2.
Yeah, this card is very effective hand disruption. Also kind of a bit of a turbo card as well. Shuffle, draw 5 on an item would be good in its own. But yeah, this card is in the name, unfair. You're going to have some pretty lopsided gameplay from this, being able to do something like Unfair Stamp, boss a support Pokemon or Counter Catcher, while also playing like maybe a Research, or you just have all these options because you're drawing extra cards and putting them to a cripplingly low hand size as early as like the second turn if they took a KO. So
yeah, like if you're playing Control, you can Unfair Stamp and then Luxray V.
yeah, it's cool card design though, because we are discouraging super aggressive gameplay with this. So
yeah, like you want to have a full
help slower decks be good.
Yeah, this is very strong.
Very good.
Boomerang Energy. This card is a 1 of in Greninja. So
Yeah, we've talked about this as well, but it's cool text.
as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides colorless energy. And then if this card is discarded by the effect of an attack used by the Pokemon this card is attached to, attach this card from your discard pile to that Pokemon after attacking. So the obvious utility there is Greninja, because you do 120 to... Oh, you're going to make me on. Keep going.
So yeah, just if you're playing something like Greninja, or this could also be good with a Radiant Greninja because you can have 2 energies left on the thing. Basically, this helps you chain attacks that make you discard energy. So I don't think it's going to be great. There's going to be some small utility with this.
Greninja mainly.
Maybe good in like a Lugia deck if there's like a good attacker that abuses this as well.
Yeah. So.
But our last card today is also very good in Lugia. I think this card is very sick. Legacy Energy provides any color of energy, so it's basically a rainbow energy. It's like luminous without the restriction, but also once per game, so it's not repeatable if you recycle this. If this Pokemon gets knocked out by damage from an attack, your opponent's Pokemon or your opponent takes 1 less prize card. So it's basically life do on an energy, which is pretty sick.
Very strong card.
I think the obvious synergy with Lugia here is this is an unrestricted rainbow energy, so we can use things like Amp You Very Much, Combustion Blast, Aqua Return with Archeops. This is a special energy that you can get from the deck that provides colored energy, which is huge.
Legacy
huge
energy,
change for
very,
Lugia.
very strong Legacy Energy. Probably just better than box order, and you just hope and you pray that you get good.
And this card is insane on an Iron Hands because not only are you taking 2 prize cards, they then KO your Iron Hands and take 1. So if Lugia is able to somewhat consistently present turn 2 hands with a Legacy Energy on it, that is like your win rate is probably like 900% if that is your turn 2.
Hammer, E-hammer.
Yeah, they have to hit the E-hammer, but if they just have to KO your active hands for 1 prize card after you take 2, you're just so unbelievably far ahead in that game. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that is
normally if they can answer the hands, it's fine. It's just an even trade. But
yeah, Legacy Energy on an Iron Hands just makes it even more unfair. Like this might be more unfair in some situations than Unfair Stamp.
Like just the and then I think huge being able to Aqua Return again. I hope we really go back to double Luminion because you can do that kind of chain. Legacy Energy is going to have a huge impact on Lugia. Probably Lugia only, honestly. I don't see this in like any other deck, but this probably takes the place of Master Ball and Lugia because it opens up so many options.
Yeah. So Lugia will be a little bit less consistent, but what's new? It gets less consistent with every set. So
that's right. But that is the majority of the cards from Twilight Masquerade. This isn't all the cards. This is just all the playables that we have on Justin Basil here, translated so we can read them to you. But hopefully you guys all enjoyed some early preparation for NAIC. Happy to have all these cards now this early so we can start testing.
Shout out to Justin Basil. Very helpful for the making of this podcast. Appreciate it. But yeah, I think you got outro there, mate, whenever you're ready.
Thank you all so much for listening, not watching. Well, if you watched, thanks for watching too. Please leave us a comment, a like, a subscribe. Hopefully we start uploading on Spotify again soon, but neither of us have figured out how to get back in, so go on our Spotify page and just leave us a faster review. Just do that. But thank you again so much for watching. This has been the Lost Mine podcast. Me, Landen and Lucas. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.